Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever Dan K Show, starring yours truly, Dan Kemchek. Kemchek's too hard to say, so we simplified it. Great move by Commissioner Rich Gallant making up the show name here, the Dan K Show. Simple, unlike my last name. Now, we have a simple concept of this show that I want to bring to you fans now today. We want this show to be about the USPHL players, about the USPHL fans, about the USPHL coaches and organizations that make up this wonderful junior hockey league. And this has to be, just like all of these teams with billet families and different parents pitching in and coaches and a real family feel, this show has to be a family. And we want you to be giving as much as you can to this show. And that means going on Twitter to @USPHL Network. And that is going to be at the bottom of your screen right now, at USPHL Network. You follow us now, and anytime you want to reach out, anytime you want to be on the show, you want to get something out there, you want a question answered, you're going to bring it to us here at the Dan K Show, and we're going to get it answered. We're going to have all types of dignitaries from the league, all types of players. We're going to be bringing you the 3 stars of the league each week on this show. Folks, this is a show that's supposed to be fun. Right now, we're a little serious. This is a different take on what we're going to do each open. Each open on these shows, we're going to do a little bit of that Daily Show Colbert Report routine where we're going to have just let the Dan talk. And I'm the Dan. I'm going to get a chance to talk. And this is my turn right here to have my monologue. I love monologues. And in a little bit, you're going to meet Lucas Jones. He's going to tell you about how much I love monologues and how much I like talking about myself, by myself, and to myself. But I like talking USPHL hockey more, and that's what this show has been created for. Folks, we need you to voice your opinions. We need your questions, and we love your hate mail, by the way, as well. We're not afraid to get a little hate mail. I was calling Flyers games last year on fasthockey.com, and the amount of just wonderful stuff you get, the amount of bad stuff you get in the broadcasting biz, it's just part of it, but it allows you to really tell us what we're getting wrong, what we're getting right. A lot of crazy names out there. I mean, last year we ran into a few that were intense. When I was calling soccer games back during my college days, I had to announce a guy called Hashman Ketcheramanov, and that was still not as hard as half of the hockey names that I have to call out there on the ice. So when we're talking here, I want to hear about what you have to say. If we pick an incorrect player, let us know. If we pick the right player, we'd love to hear it, but you don't even have to let us know that. We know that we pick the right players most of the time. But we want to hear from you. Something big happens during the week, let us know. We'll get it on the show. This show is for you. It is a family show. And you know what? That brings me to what I want to do next. I want to introduce you to my family on this show. Everybody who's on this show is a bit of family, but this guy's my best man at my wedding. He is a suave guitar player. He is a hockey fanatic. He is a graduate of the wonderful, illustrious Rutgers University, and I say illustrious because I couldn't say pretty, but Lucas will get into that. I am excited to have this guy on the show. When I heard I was getting this USPHL talk show, the first ever USPHL talk show in USPHL history, I thought to myself, okay, I know exactly the guy to go and get. And I called up Doc Emmerich. I got him on the dial, and I said, Doc, and he immediately cut me off. He said, I don't know who you are. Stop calling me, young man. So I hung up from him. I called Pierre. Pierre told me some nonsense I didn't need to know. And I said, okay, Pierre, I don't think you're going to be the right fit. We called out everybody else we could think of on the list. I mean, even Don Cherry got a call, but his suit answered for him, and he was taking all the calls. He wouldn't let us get through to the man himself. So I finally settled, and I said, all right, I've gone through about 50, 60 names that are famous, and I've gone through every friend I've got, and this man's the only one left. And that man, to the left of me, about to come on the screen, he is a handsome man, once again, my best man at my soon-to-be wedding, and he is Lucas Jones. Lucas, how you doing?
Thanks, Dan. My name is Lucas Jones, assistant captain to Dan Kemchek on The Dan K Show. What do I do in my spare time, you might ask? I play punk rock in New Brunswick, teach children the value of a history education, and also host my own podcast, News Over Brews, which creates the perfect marriage of craft beer and entertainment. I enjoy long walks on the beach, romantic nights in, Netflix and chill, and also mahogany-scented chairs.
Ah, Lucas, who doesn't love the smell of rich mahogany, eh?
I can't think of one person.
You know, I can't either, but let's get into this. You know, you talked about being the assistant captain, and I'm happy Lucas knows his spot and his niche on this show, because everyone knows that there's nothing more important than a captain on the ice, right, Luke?
Not particularly, Dan. The captain is great and all. He's a pretty face. He's, a high temper and a loud voice. The assistant captain is where all the power truly lies, Dan. Because when you become a target, I live in the shadows.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather be the Sidney Crosby, because Sidney Crosby doesn't really need Evgeny Malkin, Lucas. He doesn't.
I suppose he really doesn't, but Sidney Crosby also spends half his time flopping down on the ice. So if you want a job where you can lie down all day, then Sidney Crosby's perfect for you.
I've been trying to find one of those jobs my entire life. George Costanza is my hero, but I have not yet, so we got to go to work, Lucas. And you know how we're going to go to work?
How, Dan?
We're going to talk about the growth of this beautiful league, the USPHL, and it is it's our parents here. It's our parent company. The USPHL has given birth to this show. Lucas, you start going into hockey hotbeds. Every sport's got their hotbed. Baseball really, they love to be in the Northeast, and football's in the Southeast, but you get to the Midwest, and the Midwest is hockey haven. Lucas, what do you think moving into the Midwest and into that culture and into that economic framework is going to do for this league?
Well, I think it's going to do three things, Dan. First of all, it's going to expand your talent pool. Whenever you move a league or arms of the league into an area that has such a rich history, you're going to get some crazy good talent coming out of that area. Secondly, economically, you can't deny the impact it's going to have for the league. Once you start bringing that extra talent in, you're going to start bringing in extra viewers and more money. And thirdly, once you start bringing in extra money, well, then you're more popular. And it becomes a snowballing effect.
Once you get to a thirdly, you start knowing that it's a pretty good deal, right?
Yeah.
If it's a bad deal, someone's yelling at me and they say thirdly, I've already left the room. Mm-hmm. I'm gone 2 thirdlies ago, which would have been the firstly. I don't even listen to the first reason someone's mad. I run. But folks, this is a league that's growing, and it's brought the league to us, and we've brought ourselves to the league.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas, I've talked about kind of what we want to accomplish. We want to make that family feel of a show. We want the league and the fans and the players to really have their input. If they're going to be able to take over shows this year. We're going to have viewer choice shows where every single segment on this show is chosen by the fans. Lucas, what do you want to tell the fans to really get them going here and get them riled up?
Well, we want to be a big happy family this year under one USPHL banner. We want to come to the games. We want to know what's going on. If you have comments about the show, comments about games, if you just want to talk to us about something about USPHL hockey, we're open to that. We encourage that. We want to be just as interactive with you as you want to be with us. So please, talk to us.
We're lonely, folks. We want to talk, and we want to talk USPHL hockey with you. Anybody you want to get on the air, anything, anytime, tweet us at USPHL Network. And with that in mind, we're going to move along.
All right, so we're here with Max Luco, our first player guest on the USPHL hotline. Where in the USPHL is Dan Kemchek. He's in Philadelphia. Max, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great. Max, I worked with your team all last season. I'm going to be back calling games again this year with you guys. Last year you guys had a great offense, but an offense that's losing a lot of key pieces this year. Do you as a defenseman really take it upon yourself to kind of make this a more defensive-minded team this year?
I think we're going to be a very solid team defensively. We got some great pickups back on the blue line. We should be a very solid defensive team. But also our forwards, I wouldn't count them out at all. We lost some great players, but we also picked up a lot of good players that I think can really step into the role this year and be a prominent role and scoring some goals for us.
Now, you have a teammate, Parker Stevens. He's a guy who played a lot of defense last year, but I think he's going to get slotted into that forward role more. What do you think about Parker? Is he someone we should look out for this year?
He's going to be a defenseman for us this year, which
Is he?
I think is going to be really, really good for us. Yeah.
See, and that's why we're here, because this hotline is where we get all of the fresh scoops from the league, and we just got a new one right there from Max Luco. Going to have Parker Stevens on the D-line. So now...
Yeah, he played some games last year for us. He played solid, and I think he's going to be a very solid defenseman for us again this year.
Well, I mean, I saw it from on both sides. Wherever he had to be put, wherever Coach Beach put him, he played as well as you could have expected from a player playing both sides of the ice. Now, Max, you guys were a step away from hoisting that Dineen Cup last year. What is it going to take to get back there, and do you think you guys have it? Do you think you guys can go back and try to get that cup this year?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, I think so. Obviously, with all the returners that came back, 9 or 10 of us, you know, it's definitely in our minds. We definitely want to get back there, and 2 wins away, it's tough, but we know what it takes to get there, and I think as a leading core, we'll be able to show all the new guys and all the new vets that are coming in what it really takes to make it in this league, and I think everyone really wants to do it. I think for sure we can get back there, and it's going to be a challenge, but I think at the end of the year we can hoist that cup.
Now, playing in the USPHL, you know, you get to kind of be groomed as a player. Last year you were the younger guy. This year you're in that leadership role, as you kind of alluded to in your answer there. What is it like to be able to play both roles here over the last 2 years playing with the Flyers?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, my first year last year, we had a lot of returners from the year before, and, you know, they really showed me, as Mason and Tyler Wyatt was also a rookie last year. They kind of showed us the ropes of you know, what it takes to be a good leader in this league, and obviously they did their job well. As far as the season when we had a great season last year, and, you know, it was great to learn from them, and now it's our turn to take what we learned and put it into use this year with all the new. So I'm very excited about it.
Now, final question here. This one's more me-based. I mean, Max, you played for a team I was calling play-by-play for last year, and over the off-season, yourself and Mason Kreit tried to interview me. I may have some footage of that we're going to be putting up on the screen while this interview is going. And what should people expect from me? You know, some of the teams in this league have not seen the personality yet, or the bow ties, as you alluded to in your interview with me. What should people expect from the Dan K Show?
I'm sure it can be very interesting. It's definitely something to tune into and keep watching for every week. You know, just watching the games after we play and listening to play-by-play. It's a lot of fun to watch you play to call a game.
You know, Max, that was a very great way to end it. I'm always going to end it on a high note for myself. That was a great answer by you. I feel good. Well, Max, thanks for coming on to the USPHL hotline here and talking to me today.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck.
It's time for that fun little game we play here, Lucas. Pros and cons. I'm going to play the role of Mr. Positivity, Dan K. And Lucas over here is going to play Grumpy Luke. You know, it's our little build off of Grumpy Cat, where we mix a grumpy Republican dad along with Grumpy Cat, and we get Grumpy Luke. Lucas is going to be giving us all the cons.
Fine.
All right, we're going to show you how this works. Ready? Mr. Positivity coming down the train here. Coming down the tracks. Pro. This past weekend, the USPHL season officially got underway, and we're ready for some hockey, folks.
Con, I had no idea.
Really? I've been giving you notes like we've been preparing for this show.
No idea. I knew I had something, but you should have probably mentioned it to me.
Weeks leading up to this, we've been saying that was going to be the weekend. We'd do the show the next week, remember?
No, it's not ringing a bell.
So you said, I'd show up, I'd wear my red tie, I'm going to be really pumped.
No.
All a coincidence.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible start to pros and cons. That was a trick one. We're going to try it again. Let's try a little more positivity, see if we can get Lucas a smile here. Pro number 2. All right. With the USPHL expanding into the Midwest, its geographical footprint spans half the country now. Can't be sad about that.
Con, all of the arenas in the Midwest are going to be powered by high fructose corn syrup, which leaves a very distinctive and unpleasant smell.
Wow. That does sound pretty bad.
Yeah. Also highly fattening.
Who doesn't love a little high fructose corn syrup, though? It really gets the juices flowing, if you know what I mean. Get it? You put it in your juice. You put it in your juice. That's the kind of jokes you can expect from this show. Moving on. Pro number 3. This past weekend, there was a little battle of 2 Florida squads. The Palm Beach Hawks and the Florida Eels playing at both 2 different levels there that they're playing in. Can't be a con about that. It's the start of the season. It's a good matchup between 2 Florida squads.
Con, next week's game at that arena has been canceled. In its place, the Palm Beach Water Polo Club will be holding its first meeting.
So you're saying the ice melted?
Yes, absolutely.
That is both clever and sad. I think clever outweighs it, though, on that one.
This is the world we live in, Dan.
It's a warm, warm world. You know, global warming's coming, Republican Dad.
It is.
Oh, Republican
See,
Dad.
I smile because I'm joking about that. Because,
but we won't get too far
God,
into
I hate
politics.
you so much.
That's a con. That's definitely a con. Another con, I'll give you one. I just looked directly into the light setting here. Okay. Pro. I made him laugh. That's what I'm trying to do. I've been trying to get him to smile the whole time. He's going to get angry that he left.
There's nothing funnier than when you hurt yourself.
The final pro, though. The final pro. Folks, all season long, this guy right here, Dan K, is going to be calling all of the biggest USPHL games on Fast Hockey, as well as Flyers games, Luke.
Con, he's going to be calling a whole bunch of games on USPHL, FastHockey.com, and Flyers games too. I'm sorry. It's really nothing that can be done at this point.
Well, I think you got the point. That's pros and cons. Moving on, we're going to talk about Kleiner's 7 things. What are those? Now we're here at a pros and cons. I think we've taken enough time to regroup and no longer be sad from Lucas's cons. And
I feel like I'm in a better place. Talking about things, you know.
I really need to talk to you after the show about what you said about me at the end there. I am an emotional being and an emotional person. I'm going to try not to let that affect me, but
Dan,
we'll move on.
Nothing I said wasn't true.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just going to say that it hurt. But we're going to go into something, you know, every week you're going to have a lot of different releases from this league. And one of them is Kleiner's 7 Things. And that's Mike Klein. Mike Klein works with the league. He worked with the league last year. I got a chance to meet him. Great, great guy, great individual with a really big-time knowledge for the game of hockey. He's going to be writing about the USPHL all year long. Lucas, I think he did something, though, on his first Kleiner 7 Things of the Year. What did he do?
Oh, he did a thing. He did the thing.
The thing? Is that thing shameless promotion, which is hard for me to say?
It is shameless promotion, Dan. He shamelessly plugged our show.
He plugged our show. This show. The show with the 2 of us. Not the other Dan K show. Don't even worry about this Dan K show. Dan K, Lucas Jones, he plugged us and talked about what we're going to be doing this year on his own publication. So you know what we're going to do?
Ooh, I know.
Answer away, Lucas. You can answer.
We're going to plug him back, aren't we?
We're going to plug it right back. We're going to give him a plug right now. Folks, every week, I'm going to be reading along with you. You can pretend that I'm there. Sit there, close your eyes, and try to... Well, you can't close your eyes and read. Maybe have someone read it to you if you close your eyes. And imagine that I'm there with you. Lucas is there too. And we're reading Kleiner's 7 Things every week when it's released. It's going to be released every Wednesday. Every Wednesday this is released.
It's a good day.
That's a great day to be released.
Because
Because we're released on
day.
Thursday. So it's like, read Kleiner's 7 Things, then jump over to Dan K and watch the show,
Plus,
right?
we can steal content from him, which is great.
That's all we...
Yeah.
Most of our content stolen from other... But we're not going to get into that. We're going to do something right now. Read Kleiner's 7 Things. And you know, Oprah has her favorite things. But this is a Dan K Show exclusive plug. Sir, Mr. Mike Klein, you just got...
Plugged.
Wait, we were supposed to both do this?
Well, I'm like
thought we were
plugging in
going-
and getting electrocuted.
Well, I was like the
Like
plug...
shocked at how good the plug was.
I was like, there's a light bulb over my head. Mine
So you're
didn't.
plugging into the floor?
Mine didn't make as much sense though.
No,
Like,
because
you ever-
yours is like a 2 motion. Mine's like a...
I was gonna fly away. All right, folks. Well, we've plugged Kleiner's 7 Things. We've let you know what you need to watch. and what you need to watch for this year. You need to watch us. You need to read his work, Kleiner 7 Things. And we need to move on because there's 2 smart gentlemen about to enter the room. 2 superheroes, Lucas. That's why I was trying to fly away. See, now you get it. You
Now
get
I
it.
get it.
If
I'm
you
sorry.
could have just followed along the first time,
I should have just
we
waited.
talk about things in production meetings, and we talk about the order of things. You know, we have an idea. It's like, oh, this is going to happen after this. Let's put it together. Game of Tetris. Do, 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 do. Then it's a scene, and it's called the intelligence. See? We're the intelligence. My name is the Great One.
Isn't that Wayne Gretzky?
All right. I'm the good one.
Closer.
Yeah, we're going to stick with the good one, I think.
All right, fine.
And this is...
Lucas P.
What does the P stand for?
Haven't figured that out yet, Dan.
Perfect. It could stand for perfect. Perfect start to the intelligence. And once again, my name's the good one, not Dan. Dan left the stage.
Right, Dan.
We have put on glasses because these make us intelligent. Clark Kent may take off his glasses to become Superman. We put them on to become super guesstimators.
Dan and Lucas are off stage getting coffee and scones right now.
And we are here making some predictions. And the first prediction I want to make, we're going to do game by game when the season gets underway fully. And the first games I want to do is the season opening game for the Premier League. The Connecticut Junior Rangers at the Philadelphia Flyers junior hockey team. This guy's going to be bringing you the play-by-play. So, Lucas, I want to hear what you think. You know, you have a Connecticut Junior Rangers team that is returning a decent core of a squad that started to improve towards the end of last season. You then have a Flyers team that lost a lot of that core and is going to have to rebuild this year to get back to the second-place finish they had last season. What do you think happens here when these 2 worlds collide? A team getting older against a team getting younger. What do you think happens?
Well, Dan, it's definitely going to be an interesting game. That's for sure. Whenever you have a team that's coming in with a prestige and a record and momentum, like the Flyers, it's a bit of a mind game for the other team. However, the Connecticut Junior Hockey team is coming back with their core from last year. They're coming back with over half their team, like you mentioned. And there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think that they've done that.
Yep.
You know, whenever you come back with returning a large amount of your team, I think you always have an advantage because you don't need to build camaraderie. It's already there. You don't need to, work on how you play together on the ice because that's already there. And I will always pick the team with a returning core of players over a team that did well last year, but not a lot of their players are returning.
You know what that means, Lucas?
What does that mean, Dan?
For the first time all season, the Flyers, and it's not just the Flyers, we're going to do this with every team this year at some point. They're on upset alert. Watch out, Philadelphia Flyers. I'm going to be calling the game. But I think the Junior Rangers have a shot in that game. And my intelligent side is going to say that is going to be an amazing opening series for an amazing level of hockey there at the Premier level.
Absolutely.
Now, one more guess here at the Premier level. As an intelligent, I want to make a season-long prediction here. And this one is called The Stars Are Out in Syracuse. And not just for real, because the Syracuse Stars are the newest squad, along with the European Eagles, in the Premier League of the USPHL. But the Syracuse Stars are a squad that take over for the Bay State Breakers here in the USPHL Premier League. And I think this is a team that a lot like Ebby Calvin Nuke Lelouch in Bull Durham, and I'm going to drop some baseball movies on you from time to time and some other sports movies, folks. But they're going to announce their presence with authority in this league. I think the Syracuse squad at all levels has always been a top squad. Why wouldn't it translate over? Lucas, what's the importance of a team growing from the ground up, and do you think they can carry it over to the next level?
I think they absolutely can. And, the importance of building a team from the ground up is everything that you might expect. It's, having a rapport between coaches and players.
Yeah.
It's having a system in place and a system ingrained in these kids. When you have players, when you try to build a team, as we've seen from the mid-2000s New York Yankees, when you try to build a team, it doesn't work. Yeah. But growing a team will always produce results because everybody grows together.
And, we talk about growing together. We talk about growing franchises from the ground up here. We're going to go into the USPHL Midwest now for a little prediction I have on the Kalkaska Rhinos. Not sure if that's how I pronounce it.
Well, I would say yes, but I only say yes because I've never heard that word pronounced any other way, because you're the first person I've ever heard pronounce that.
Well, wherever Kalkaska is, we know they have a pretty big rhino problem, so please be careful on the streets.
Absolutely. Rhinos are not to be trifled.
Native to the Kalkaska lands.
Do not stare them directly in the eyes. They will charge you. Do not look away from them. They'll charge you. Stare at like a 45-degree angle.
So like this.
Like that. Like, don't acknowledge them, but don't ignore them either, you know.
And that's something you can put in the terms of the team here. I think this is a team you don't want to ignore. And I'm going to look at them from a 45-degree angle because I don't want to make them upset. Kalkaska, you know, they're growing this team from the ground up. And they have just this organizational structure that I can really get behind. It's almost like a New England Patriots in football. It's almost like a Pittsburgh Penguins or a Los Angeles Kings of the NHL, where they kind of are always involved every year no matter who's on the ice. And, you know, I think Kalkaska is going to be a team to reckon with in the Midwest. I really like this Rhino squad. And, you know, if you're the Rhinos, if you're from the Rhinos, if you're a player, a fan, maybe just a resident of Kalkaska, tell us a little bit about the town, because we'd like to talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'd love to keep talking about the Kalkaska Rhinos as soon as we figure out exactly where you are. So if you could send us a map, some pictures perhaps, a small handwritten diary of what life is like every day out what I assume is the prairie. Like a little house on the prairie, but like a slightly bigger house, because now it's 2015. Although I don't want to judge the size of your houses. Small, big, medium.
It has to be larger because there are rhinos running loose.
That's true.
And that's how we move into our next little intelligence here. USPHL elite level, you know. And this is a level where you get a lot of those really young players who are playing way above their age. And you get a lot of those guys who are right on the cusp of moving to the next level or going to get that college commitment. And it's a great mix of hockey play. And that's where I think, once again, early in the year you talk about organizational structure. Sean Tremblay, the head coach of the Islanders Hockey Club Premier Team, he has this organization in check, top to bottom. Now, he's not coaching the elite team, but he's, you got to believe, involved in every step of that organizational process. And the Islanders Hockey Club is always great. A leader like Sean Tremblay, he's a guy who stares right through you when he wants to. A coach that I could easily be intimidated by and brought to tears by with the way he seems like he can get upset and really put his momentum in you. You know, he can really get you going. He can get the team going. I've watched him coach in the playoffs last year. Double overtime, thrilling game against the Philadelphia Flyers that I called on Fast Hockey. And he's just a coach that kept his team going. When there's a will, there's a way. What does a coach like that, a leader of men, do for a squad from the top all the way down to the younger players?
Well, your first instinct is to say that he helps to make these players better, and that's true. Any great coach is going to make his team better, and by extension, make his players better. Sure. But I think in an organization like that, with a guy like that at the helm, it allows your players to shine individually. Because when players are in a system that they don't have to necessarily think about, that it's so ingrained in their mind, they can shine by themselves and on their own, which is another great aspect of that level of play. You know, you mentioned that you've got guys right on the cusp and guys that are essentially being thrown into this higher level to see how they do. And so you can get a person that would totally wow you out of nowhere. You know, some guy that comes up and makes a statement. And then you get guys that just game after game after game show that they can handle that level of play.
Yep.
And then handle the next level of play. So I think that not only is Coach Tremblay going to be a great asset to the league and a great organization to watch, but just that portion of the league in general is another one of those things where, you know, pay attention.
Yep.
Because you blink and you'll miss something great.
And, you know, the USP 3 level, we were going to talk about it last week if we had the show, but no Florida vacation is something I want to talk about because there's two Florida teams that played this past weekend in the Palm Beach Hawks and the Florida Eels, and they battled back and forth. And I think Florida hockey is going to have something to show this year at that level.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if the first game is any indication, we're in for a heck of a show. You know, like fast, aggressive, no holds barred hockey. You know, they're not trying to pull any punches with each other here. They're trying to play and they're trying to bring their A game every game, and it's going to really, you know, turn out some great matches this year.
Now, down at the 18U, 16U, and 16U futures levels, these are levels where we're looking at these players' growth, the individual growth. But some teams to look at, you got the Jersey Hitmen had a 4-0 weekend at the 16U futures level, as well as the Potomac Patriots. What kind of a team does it take to go 4-0 in a weekend showcase?
A great team.
Yeah. Simple.
It's as simple as that. Any team can win a game. Any team can win 2 games. And really, any team can win 4 games. But if you're talking about 4 games in one weekend, that's stamina, that's organization, and that's skill. Because any team can have skill for one game. But a team that can pull off that level of skill in that short of a time for that many games, that's something special.
And you know what's something special? The intelligence. That's all for the intelligence this week. We're going to move into our final segment of every show, a place where you really get to voice your mind and speak your thoughts. Is that the order I should have put it in? I don't think so. It's time for the empty net. And now we're here in the final segment of the night, and what will be the final segment each week for the fans. This week, obviously, we don't have the fan interaction because it's our first show. But starting next week, we want you to start reaching out to us with hashtag Dan K Show, hashtag Dan K Show at the bottom of your screen, and tweet it to @USPHL Network. You're going to do that. We're going to see it, and we're going to put it on the show. You can ask us anything you want. You could ask me questions. You could ask Lucas questions. You could ask about teams. You could suggest topics. Anything you want. This segment is yours. The end of every show, we'll guarantee your content on. Just give us questions. Give us things you want to hear. We'll bring it to you every night, and we'll give you a shout-out on the air. For example, Lucas, give me what you would tweet to me right now if you were a fan of this show.
@Dan Kimchek.
Oh, hello.
What are you looking forward to most about the Dan K Show this year? Hashtag Dan K Show. Hashtag USHPL. Hashtag oh my god.
Well, that was a great tweet, first of all, Lucas.
Thank you.
Great tweet. That's a verbal tweet. Hashtag verbal tweet. And
hashtag killing it.
Hashtag having fun at the Dan K Show. But I'm most excited about the viewer responses. I'm most excited about hearing what the players got to say. I want to see those moments that happen throughout a season. I played college baseball, Lucas, and there's some great things that happen during the year that go unseen when you don't have the right mouthpiece to really show what's going on. And we want to be that mouthpiece for you. That's what I'm most excited to be. I'm most excited to bring what you are doing day in and day out, USPHL athletes and fans, and bring it to the masses. We're trying to get it out to everyone. We need your help, and we really think that we can make this a great show. And each week we're going to take the goalie out of the net and let you score on us here. We're going to give you any answer you want, any topic you want. Lucas, do you have anything to add before we say goodnight to the folks?
Well, I think the thing that's going to be most interesting about the empty net is that we will not be picking our own questions. I will be picking questions for Dan, and Dan will be picking questions for me. So please, ask away. The better the question, more likely it is that you'll end up on the show.
And you're going to get on here, you're going to get shown, you're going to get probably joked about as well, because you're probably going to have some wonderful questions. And folks, I think that's going to be all for us tonight. It's been a great show. I've had a great time. I'm going to speak for Lucas. I think he had an okay time.
Oh, absolutely. Super okay.
Super okay.
Super okay.
That's a super before the okay. That's like a 60% out of 100. Every grade I've ever gotten on a test in college. And folks, we thank you for watching. And remember, it's always hockey night if Dan K is on the mic.